welcome our host, our Gus Hamilton!
Thank you all very much. How's everybody tonight? Yeah. I want to thank you all especially for coming out on this freezing night in Southern California. We're not kidding. It's so cold in West Hollywood, they've outlawed lube just to create a little friction. This town knows how to handle a hard freeze. But let's get to the news. Joe Biden issued a statement on Sunday night congratulating the Kansas City Chiefs for winning Best Picture. A special day today. On this day, guys, 16 years ago, Facebook was founded. Facebook was launched 16 years ago. Isn't that amazing? You know, Facebook is now too old for Prince Andrew. Sunday was Groundhog Day. Yeah, President Trump walked outside and saw that he was still president. And traditionally, that means 6 more weeks of comedy. President Trump tonight gave his State of the Union speech to Congress. He opened by saying the State of the Union is strong. It's always best to start with a good joke to get the crowd on your side. You know, all the Democratic congressmen were wearing white dresses, and it was kind of weird, you know, seeing not Adam Schiff not wearing a white dress with the other lady. President Trump spent much of the weekend playing golf at Mar-a-Lago, you know. And actually, he's really a good golfer. He's played a lot of tournaments, you know. On his scorecard, he lists his handicap as Congress. I wonder how many strokes he gave him tonight. Meanwhile, Iowans in Iowa are still awaiting the results of the Super Bowl. The big news tonight is that Mayor Pete upset Bernie Sanders in the Iowa caucuses. What do you think of that? You know, that makes it official. Iowa farmers prefer homosexuality over socialism. Well, the caucus's voting results were chaotic because transmission was impossible. The app went down. The phones went down. Buttigieg went, well, you know, it was a trend. They lost all communication is what happened, you know. But guess which candidate suggested smoke signals? But Mayor Pete is getting a lot of flack because he's an investor in the company that makes the app that went down and caused all the chaos in the voter tabulations. I'm not going to say Mayor Pete cheated, but he was just asked to throw out the first pitch at the Houston Astros home opener. Here in West Hollywood, we always took him for a catcher. Anyway, but the socialist Bernie Sanders should not be too upset because all of his votes were distributed equally to the other candidates. You know? But anyway, both Super Bowl teams happen to have political connections. Did you notice? For instance, the San Francisco 49ers are connected with Nancy Pelosi because that's her home district, San Francisco. Kansas City is connected with Elizabeth Warren because they both self-identify as Chiefs. But everybody's talking about, let's be honest, everybody's talking about the Super Bowl halftime show starring Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Oh, man. It was so refreshing to see the halftime performers on their knees instead of the players. You know, I'm ashamed to say I enjoyed the halftime show so much, I watched it with a dollar bill in my mouth. It was a Latina extravaganza, wasn't it? Man, it was hot. And it was a culturally, you know, educational for me. You know, for instance, I learned that Shakira is Spanish for Viagra. Meanwhile, President Trump saw the Super Bowl halftime show and suggested we make Puerto Rico a U.S. territory. You know, San Francisco's only consolation is they can say the loss was to come from behind. Or they can just say they blew it. Either way. It's a win-win, all right? Well, around the country, let's get back to heterosexual sex here for a minute. A Louisiana couple was arrested last week, get this, for filming themselves having sex at a Walmart and a Burger King. And they're very embarrassed now. So they're telling everybody it was at a Target and a Wendy's. Okay. Also, meanwhile, furthermore in the South, my home area, last week in Tennessee, get this, a man was arrested for smoking pot inside the courthouse, in the courtroom. And he was up on charges for marijuana. So, but ironically, he was thrown in the joint. In South Asia, this was my favorite item of the week. A Sri Lankan man was arrested at Delhi Airport Customs trying to smuggle $25,000 worth of gold and jewelry inside his rectum. Yeah. And his lawyer says he'll walk, but his doctor's not so sure. Now, the hottest rumor going around in politics this week is that Hillary Clinton is letting people know she's angling for the vice presidential nomination. Vice presidential nomination. And to show he's a good sport, Trump said he'll consider it. Now all Hillary has to do is to figure out how to make Trump's death look accidental. Meanwhile, the presidential race moves up to New Hampshire this week, where Trump supporters are known as Trumpers, right? Bloomberg supporters are known as Bloomers. Biden supporters are called Ukrainians. The U.S. Senate is finally getting set to acquit on Wednesday, ending this months-long impeachment extravaganza. About all that's left now is for Monica Lewinsky to give birth to Hunter Biden's love child and call him whistleblower. The end. Finally, folks, President Trump signed a bill today outlawing sex trafficking on the internet. Okay? He figures, he's got Melania. The rest of you guys can fend for yourselves. Well, we got a great show tonight. We really do. We got Nick Thune, Yorsi Thomas, and Sarah Weincheck. Thank you for being a terrific crowd. Appreciate it. Thank you all. Welcome to Argus Hamilton's Comedy Store tonight. Thank you all. Thank you very much. That was terrific.